Hello humans, before I start today's video, I want to pre-warn you this is going to be a very heavy video and it may be a little bit much for you. So if any of the trigger warnings that are currently on your screen are going to be too much for you, completely understand, and I'll catch you in the next one. Please, please, please take care of yourself. It's been a minute since I've had to start a video that way, but unfortunately it is very, very, very much needed for today's video. If you are new here, my name is Repulsive Artichoke, and this channel is very much where I come to talk to you guys about my special interests. And sadly, some of my special interests do have a dark side, and that's something we're going to get into today. I don't think it's going to be news to any of you that have followed me for some time that one of my biggest interests is alternative fashion. I follow influencers of all genders, and I like to get inspo from all different subgenres of alternative fashion. So recently I was sort of going through some Instagram stories and I saw a few posts regarding a creator known as Milo Munster. I want to stress that what I'm putting in this video is just information that I have seen about him. The screenshots and information have all come from other people. I am wanting to put the claims and information in this video so that you can come to your own conclusions. Before I go into the details of what I saw about Milo, let's take a minute to explain who he is. Milo Munster, or real name Michael Lopez, is an American content creator out of California, originally from Texas. Although I'm not 100% sure at this point because of reasons we're going to touch on a little bit later, but that's an issue for down the road. He's mostly known on TikTok and Instagram. He does have a Twitch and a YouTube channel, but they're pretty inactive as far as I can see. He's not posted on either of them for a decent chunk of time. His content mostly focuses on men's fashion, dark aesthetics, horror, and he is a self-proclaimed Hollywood vampire. Anyway, at the beginning of Milo's social media career, he mostly focused on either rollerblading or alternative men's fashion, but more in the elder emo mosher kinds of fashion, sort of similar to my style, rather than the goth vampire aesthetic he focuses on now. He would occasionally post memes related to law enforcement and mental health, I guess. Now, it's pretty easy to pinpoint when his style started to change, and that is around the back end of 2023. He began dating another creator known as Infamous Joanna. Joanna is actually someone I've followed for quite a while now. She has actually been a huge inspiration in my own fashion journey, and I just love her videos, especially the ones with her partner Z. Initially, when Joanna came out to talk about Milo in her Instagram stories, she stayed relatively vague, mainly just stating that when they dated, she had a terrible feeling in her gut about him, and after they split, she received messages from other women who dated Milo after her, and they had bad experiences. She also mentions that during the relationship, when she was suffering due to her having endometriosis, he would throw tantrums and basically say she was trying to avoid sex. I'm not going to insinuate that she was, but honestly, if a grown man started having a tantrum because I'm in pain instead of pleasing him, I'd be drier than the fucking Sahara. In present day, February 2026, Joanna has actually come out and given full-ass metadata receipts showing that during her relationship with Milo, she coached him on how to make his videos look better, but that kind of swiftly turned into him skinwalking her, as well as screenshots showing her talking to him about goth and vamp spaces in Japan that she wanted to visit, and then him going to visit them. Hello, Editing Artichoke here. Just noticed this while I've been editing. Funnily enough, the video that was suggested by Joanna on TikTok is his only video that has gone over 1 million views. So take with that what you will. Then when she got her veneers that gave her fangs, and then a screenshot of a message with her talking to Milo about him having composite fangs. I also mentioned that Milo roller skated, and well, so does Joanna. In fact, Joanna actually gifted him a pair of bat wings for his lollies, which I am told are a type of roller skate. She does also take screenshots of what his Instagram looked like before they met. So I'm mostly working with that because I didn't follow him on Instagram and he's now locked that down. I was following him prior to all this on TikTok, so I was able to see some stuff on there. However, I don't know if he just posts on Instagram more or he's deleted stuff from TikTok, but what Joanna shows does very much mirror what I saw with TikTok, where it is mostly just sort of the mosher aesthetic rather than the goth vamp aesthetic. I wanted to make sure that this is also highlighted because it's why Milo has the platform that he has. His average views did well before Joanna, but she took him to the next level. But then when they split, allegedly he begins to tell other women that he's dating that she's the one copying him, hence why she showed what his aesthetic looked like before they were dating. Unfortunately, this is where we start to get into much darker accusations. These come from Phoenix Noir, who is an alternative model and coach. And on February 20th, 2026, she took to her Instagram stories to talk about her and Milo's relationship. How she alleges he abused, manipulated, gaslit, and used her for connections. In the first video I saw from Phoenix, she claimed that Milo would change the status of their relationship depending on who he was talking to. She also claims that they had an incident where he put his legs around her neck, putting her in a chokehold for almost a minute. She heard a crack and was in a lot of pain after. She then also alleges that later on, after this incident, Milo would laugh about the whole situation.
It's interesting how different things are said to different people. Somehow we're friends and never dated to we were in a relationship. What is it? Because the story keeps changing. The only thing that doesn't change is the fact that out of nowhere, you decided to put your little legs around me and put me in a chokehold and decided to squeeze tighter with every second passing by onto my throat, to the point where this piece of my throat felt like it shifted. I heard a crack and I really thought I was going to die then and there. I was already crying, and you did not make eye contact with me whatsoever, because how could you? My back was towards your chest. You pushed me off, you chuckled, you didn't even make eye contact with me. You went straight to the bathroom. And I cried, and I dried my tears, and I knew I had to leave, and I had to put it behind me, because I did not know if you were going to do anything to me next if I said a damn word.
She also puts a note on screen during this video saying that he's also a trained wrestler. I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen anything on his TikTok that confirms this at the time that I looked into it myself. What I've put on screen right now is some screenshots from Phoenix Noir's Instagram stories. Now, I believe these are taken from the T app. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But 34 humans have taken the time to flag Milo on there. These screenshots don't look to be due to a mass hate campaign either, because they all appear to be left well before she began exposing him. But all of these are basically giving pretty similar experiences. So this first comment says, narcissist and a predator. He tries to paint himself to be a good guy, but is very manipulative and misogynistic, controlling, pushy, and uses coercion to get what he wants. Never takes accountability and blames women for taking advantage of him. He's very, very insecure and will take it out on the person he's dating. He's using the name Milo, spelled M-Y-L-O, on dating apps. And then just underneath, I can see a comment here that says, the hands, the dom harness, all red flags. I believe this is actually related to a post that I saw on his TikTok, which I will put on screen now. And honestly, after reading what I've read about this guy, that kind of makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable if what people are saying about him are true. Then someone else says, I always sensed something wrong with that guy. And then someone else has commented, Lamau, I'm dead. He's so popular on IG and in the goth community, but I always got weird vibes from him and was even shocked to see him pop up on Hinge. I'm glad I followed my gut. Someone else has commented in response to that, you're amongst a group of girls within the goth community to say that they've gotten odd vibes from him before meeting him or being around him. And then they've responded, geez, I always asked myself why I don't like him since he's literally my type, etc. He's really active in the goth community in LA, but something didn't sit right in my gut. Good to know I'm not alone, but also sad. And they've replied, he stole the identity of another huge influencer that dated him for a little. I'm not going to throw her under the bus though and name names, but he is painfully obvious when you scroll through his IG and TikTok. He started blowing up after dating her. I believe that is possibly referring to Joanna prior to her coming out. Then the same person replies, makes sense, men always steal the light behind our eyes. Lol. I can't really see the 100% of what it says on this one because it's covering up a bit, but what I can see is just glad people are sensing his fakeness. And then someone has commented, he has no actual style or even personality, so we would go out shopping, he would ask me, would blank wear this? And I'd say yes, so he would buy it, lol. I should have known back then that he was just copying because he doesn't even know punk style. And then another person has commented, matched with this guy once, he followed me on Instagram and immediately added me to his close friend's story and would non-stop post hypersexual perverted things. Weird dude. Someone else has said he's cringe. Another one says, this man is the absolute worst, Lamau. We went on one date last year. And someone else said, give us the tea. And then the next one says, I went on a few dates with this guy after I ignored the red flags. Told me, I hope you don't make me wait to have sex. And then they've commented, ew, and in quotations again, if you get pregnant, I'm going to disappear. And got upset if I knew cool people, unfollowed me online, even though he said we were just friends after I posted with a guy I've been seeing. Hit me with that, hope you're happy with your new person. On top of that, he's a narcissist, full of himself, but has no good qualities, doesn't have a good relationship with his kid. I helped him out with his kid once, tries too hard to be this Gomez Adams, but it's cringe. And he would ask me, do goths wear this stuff? Because he isn't a real goth, just likes the aesthetic so he can get girls. And then someone else has said, that's my exact same experience with him. Phoenix also provides some excerpts of messages she has had with 4 different women who also have had dating experiences with Milo. So these were originally posted by someone known as the Wicked Lady, and these are reposted onto Phoenix Noir's story, which is where I'm getting this information from. The first message says Milo ? Eyes. Then they responded yup, and then they've replied with, I knew it, we matched on Hinge before he blew up and I got a rancid weirdo vibes, so I ghosted. The next one says, dude, we matched on Hinge like a year ago. I ghosted him because he gave me hella weird vibes and kinda spammed me, also wanted to move really fast. I never met him though, lol. Another one says, I need to make a vid on this. I matched with him on Hinge and he was so pushy, I got terrible vibes. And then they said, I wish you could repost stuff like this on here because I would smash that shit so hard. And then someone's taken some screenshots of them having a conversation with Milo. Unfortunately, because of how much they've been re-uploaded, I can't really see what they say. I will try and write them in editing. Hello, Editing Artichoke once again. I am doing my absolute best to try and read these messages, but bear with because this is blurry as fuck, man. So the first one is something to do with a meme that is absolutely unreadable. But it's Milo that has sent the meme. Then the person that he sent this to has responded with LMFAO, and then Milo says us with a bat emoji, and the next one says, Milo says, so you're not interested, I take it. If yes, Steph can make content and stuff. Then they've said, what, I've never met you in person. I don't even know if we would vibe like that, but we definitely are the same things, so I'm sure we'll get along regardless. Then Milo says, I'm down. I'm attracted to you. I don't know if it is mutual, lol. Just shooting my shot. Yes, Steph will get along though regardless. And then they've responded with, we're you're Mexican, right? And Milo says, see. But then they've said that these screenshots are literally like last week. He definitely gives off weird energy, which is why I told him to slow his fucking roll. I would tell whatever girl he's trying to manipulate at the moment, and you can send those screenshots to her. Phoenix has also posted a statement from Miss Betty, who has a very similar statement to Joanna, where they dated briefly. She heard things about him from other people after the fact. Milo trashes and discredits her to other influencers. The most heartbreaking part of this for me, though, she wishes she'd spoken up sooner because she thinks it could have saved others from heartache. When I read that, that was honestly just so heartbreaking for me. I want to highlight some other stuff I found from a creator called Backstitch Bruja, or Yvette, who is a content creator as well as owner and designer of Bruja Boutique in LA. She received a DM from someone as things were going on, showing him saying he wants to try and sue her for defamation.
Does this little Tinker Toy Mighty Mouse looking bitch even know what the definition of defamation is? He would have to prove that 40 women are lying. If you go on the T app, multiple women have come out, and since Phoenix and Joanna came forward on Instagram, a lot of these women plus have come forward to us with screenshots and proof that this man is lying about what? This is your name, babe. Micah Devon Lopez. This is you. This is a league. This article, you and your cop buddies, you did that. You're an ex-sheriff. Lying about what? Also, jealous of your Creepsville knockoff and your clip art pants? Baby, I run a whole empire. Jealous of what? Of who? Your first two products and their fucking knockoffs? Wakala, bro.
As I said, Yvette also received some anonymous statements from women about their experiences with Milo, similar to Phoenix and Joanna. And the message says, I want to share my experience with Milo privately. Between me and you, I dated him about 8 months ago, and during that time he would constantly talk down to me, say things like my eyeliner or bangs were uneven, or that my nails were outgrown. He told me he'd expect a girl to always be done up. He also pressured me into taking a day after pill for no reason, and said that if a girl ever got pregnant he would kill himself or disappear. What really shocked me was that on our first date, he started talking badly about Joanna and Samantha, even though I followed them for a long time and still love their content. He hadn't dated in forever and didn't know how dating worked, which fell off. I ended things after a few weeks. And speaking of Milo and lawsuits, you might remember I mentioned earlier that before Milo was a content creator, he worked in law enforcement. He was part of the LA County Sheriff's office in Los Angeles, California. Phoenix shares screenshots that show he's named among other officers in his department in a lawsuit against them from September of 2020. But the lawsuit was brought against LA County Sheriff's Office in June of 2023 by a female freelance photojournalist who I will refer to as JL. The incident happened during the BLM protests in LA. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm going to borrow a bit of a TLDR from Freedom Press Tracker. The civil rights suit states that JL was documenting a protest over the shooting death of cyclist Dejon Kizzy when sheriff's deputies charged the demonstrators without warning, firing less lethal munitions and tear gas into the crowd. Then munitions struck JL on the side of her head, her shoulder, and right hand, causing her to drop her cell phone she was using to live stream the protest. Sheriff's deputies then placed her under arrest for failure to disperse, held her for 19 hours without adequately treating her injuries. The suit states that officers deliberately left JL's phone at the scene and held her camera damaged in the course of her arrest in custody until April of 2021. Now, obviously, I don't want to go too into the details of what happened in this lawsuit because I am just wanting to add this for information in here to build an understanding of who Milo is. This suit is still ongoing. Lawsuits take ages, especially when they involve civil rights violations. If you want more information on the matter, I will put all the links that I've used in my research in the description of this video. This is just what I have found within the lawsuit and articles related to it, which Phoenix posted to her stories. I did also see some people saying Milo is apparently pro-tangerine, but I can't fully back that one up because I cannot find anything that confirms that to me. I guess we'll probably know for sure when he starts his Red Pill Goth podcast with Jake Monroe. Now, as a bit of a palate cleanser, let's go back to me joking about not being sure about him being from Texas, because honestly, compared to everything else, it's pretty harmless, but also it's kind of the stupidest thing to lie about, really. Basically, in Milo's most recent videos, he has more of a southern accent.
If you have a stylish, spooky man in your life and you don't know what to get him for Christmas, here's some gift ideas that he'll definitely love. First up, we have Seance perfumes. They're definitely my favorite to wear right now. And with the recent release of Frankenstein, I highly suggest you try out the Monster. It'll be a gift for you and him.
But when you watch Joanna's video of her coaching Milo, it miraculously disappeared.
So with something like this, I mean, since it's close, I mean, we could just do something like, small, but then like when we're out and about,
yeah,
you got the big one. And one of those.
Sweet. I like being on the side. All right. So should we just start off with and then we'll do the other ones in the other videos?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So what do you got? Just
standing, and then we.
Maybe he forgot to pack it before he went over to her house. Maybe he woke up from a coma and he suddenly had a southern accent. Obviously, I'm joking here. My main thought behind it is he did have a slight accent, but then started hamming it up as a way to help him stand out. It's step one from the Michaela Naguara guide to being a clout demon, along with having no sense of style of your own. Okay, I apologise. Hopefully this is the last time I'm going to have to pop in like this. However, this is just something that kind of made me laugh more than anything else. This is one of the last things that Milo posted prior to him having the whole situation go down.
I was at the mall today and I saw a young man and his lady. I think they had to have been like teenagers or something like that. She was holding flowers that he had gotten her. And as I saw that, I want to hype this young man up. I looked at her and I was like, those are really pretty. Then I looked at him and I was like, good job, dude. And I continued walking. As I walked away, I heard him go, yes, I got the right ones. I made a good choice. And that right there made it all worth it. Because what I wanted to do was reinforce what he did. To let him know, hey, dude, you did a good job. You picked out really good flowers. Those are really pretty. It's really nice being an older guy, hyping up the newer generation. Letting them know, gentlemen, it's okay. Buy your lady flowers. Like, make her smile. Like, we have so much negativity in the world. and we have this stupid ass toxic masculinity thing going on right now. And I just wanted to say, if you're an older guy and you see a younger man doing something nice for their lady, treating them right, opening up that door, compliment them. Dude, good job, dude. Or even just a simple, what a gentleman. That right there goes a long way. I didn't have that growing up, and every time I got any sort of compliment doing anything that I do, it just really reinforced what I'm doing is okay. Like, men, it's okay. Like, if you're a young man, it's okay to open up the door for your lady. It's okay to buy her flowers. It's okay. I don't know where we got off on that. I don't know why we stopped that. Why do we, why do we stop yearning? Why do we stop showing romance? It's okay to do that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make your lady smile. That's nothing wrong with that at all. It's actually a little bizarre that you feel that you can't. And I'm hoping that we can get away from that as a society. So if you're an older guy and you see a younger man doing something nice for their girl, or they picked up flowers for their girl, give them that compliment. Let him know, you did a good job, dude. It's okay, you did a good job. Let's reinforce positive behaviors and gestures for your significant other. Young men, if you're doing something nice for your lady, I'm proud of you.
Okay, point number one, I do not believe this happened. Okay, I just don't. Point number two, if this actually happened, Milo, why the fuck are you going up to kids in a mall and complimenting them? Why would you do that? That's just fucking weird. Like, are you stupid? What the fuck? Also, this kind of aged like milk because, let's be honest, you are far from a fucking gentleman, okay? In my opinion, you are a fucking troglodyte, my dude. You really are. Just... Ugh. That's all I have to say about this. I physically cannot bring myself to go through point by point of what he's saying. I kind of get the sentiment, but either this is bullshit or you've just made yourself look way more fucking creepy. Now, that's where I'm going to leave this video now. I may do a more in-depth second part of this video in the future if more information comes up. However, my entire goal here is to make people aware of the accusations and hopefully prevent further harm. But I also believe that all sides deserve to be heard, and I haven't seen any statements from him myself, possibly because he's locked down his social media. Again, I don't know. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much. Also, don't forget to like this video and leave me a comment so that we can make sure it reaches those who it needs to. And if you hit subscribe, then you know about any future videos from me. Also, I apologise this video took so long to come out. Like I said, this is my third time recording this, but as well, I've kind of had the hardest few months I've had in a while, so I really appreciate your patience. But if you want to see any more content from me, feel free to check out any of my other videos. I also post daily content on my Instagram and TikTok, so feel free to join me over there too. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.